hey, welcome back to Harriet's Florida Kitchen. I'm Harriet. This is my kitchen, and we are in Florida, and it is a sultry May day. This very exciting day because one of my oldest friends is here making a guest appearance in the show kitchen. Now, you will remember, you don't know that you've seen him before, but you have, because he was in my second grade class, Miss Sales class at Gary Elementary, and you remember second grade because I had Christina in the class from Abuela's Flans. Devoted viewers will remember that. So his name is Ben Bickerstaff. Come on into the frame, Ben. And he looks a little strange because he is a very good friend, but he was one of the first to do a spoof takeoff on the beloved Harriet's Florida Kitchen. And he did it as Chef Bubba.
How y'all doing? Good to be here.
Started. His first dish was a red gelatin seaweed dish on a bank of sand, which he called Red Tide. We are not making that today. Now, Ben has a very checkered career. He started out, at one point, he was a stunt rider as a Native American, in Georgia. And how many times a day did you get shot off of your horse?
I had that once an hour during the week and twice an hour on the weekends.
And he did it all one summer, and none of us even knew he could ride a horse. He also spent 10 years in a rock and roll band. And he also ran a kitchen with his supermodel wife, Tawn, for several years. Hence his qualification to be able to work on Harriet's Florida Kitchen. So Ben and I are going to a party tomorrow, and we decided, since everybody can now get out, people who are vaccinated anyway get to actually go to parties together. So we're going to make 2 hors d'oeuvres, and I'm going to show you exactly how to do it. We're doing them with, one of them is, these are Ben's recipes. Where'd you get these recipes? Louisiana?
Well, we're in the kitchen.
Okay, LouisianaCooking.com is what this is from, and this is classic shrimp remoulade. But we're going to put them in, arugula boats.
No, it's romaine boats.
Romaine boats. We're going to put them in romaine boats. And we are going to make curried chicken salad with toasted almonds. We're going to put those in phyllo pastry cups. And we're going to make them all here. And then we're going to show you a few samples, because then we'll take all the prep stuff really and truly and make it tomorrow night right before the party. Yeah. We're going to show you how to do it.
That'd be fresh.
Okay, we have zested 2 lemons, and we have them on this plate, and we've done it by just grating them with a regular grater. And then Ben is now juicing these. You know, I always think it's easier if you juice them in one of these things, so he's going to juice. He's doing 2 lemons just on this little thing. Okay, Ben, start putting in the lemon juice that you have juiced. That's the juice of 2 lemons. And then put in the zest, which is over on the blue plate. Blue plate. Yep, put it in. Perfect. Okay, and next we're going to put in a 1/4 cup plus a 1/4 teaspoon of kosher salt. Okay, this is a kind of video parenthesis. You are about to see us make a huge mistake. Please do not try this at home. The recipe called for 1/4 cup salt and 1/4 teaspoon salt, kosher salt. Now, that should have been a clue. That should have been a red flag. Anytime you have 2 quantities of the same thing in a line, you know it's going to be in 2 parts of the recipe. I don't approve of it. I think it's the wrong thing to do. I think you should do it if it calls for part of the sauce, part in the shrimp. They should be written that way in the recipe. They weren't. And even these 2 experienced cooks didn't really question it enough. We did look at each other and say, seems like a lot. Yeah, it does seem kind of like a lot. Sure we should use that? Yeah, I think so. And we just went right ahead and blithely poured it in. But it gets worse. We put the 1/4 cup into the sauce, and then Ben had already prepped the shrimp. I'm going to show you how to do the shrimp on this, as you see. But we should have known better than to put a 1/4 cup. We shouldn't have put a 1/4 cup of salt in anything. A 1/4 cup of salt is too much for the shrimp. It should maybe have 2 teaspoons in it, if that. And certainly, but the 1/4 teaspoon is probably fine. Definitely, I'm sure it's fine for the shrimp thing. Anyway, you will see us comment on this as we get a little further. Well, you won't see us really comment. You'll see us kind of go, because we've realized what we've done. But just be on the lookout now for a terrible mistake. Okay, next we put in a 1/4 cup plus a 1/4 teaspoon of kosher salt. And then we're going to put in 2 tablespoons of chopped fresh parsley. You can see that Ben has already prepped this. 2 tablespoons also prepped of chopped fresh tarragon. That's okay for now. 2 tablespoons of prepared horseradish over there in the bowl. Yep. 2 tablespoons of, now it calls for Creole mustard. This is a bit of a trick. We're not able to find any Creole mustard, so we're using Coleman's English mustard, which is a different flavor, but it's going to be good. 1/2 teaspoon of cayenne pepper, 1 cup of the mayo. Now stir it around. It'll be particularly beautiful since it has the main base in it. Okay, stir it up. Okay. And
for those of you following along at home, do what we say, not what we do.
Right. Now we've also doubled this, so I'm going to show you what the recipe is for 1 recipe, but also I'm going to show you what it is for 2. Okay. Now we'll do the shrimp. Okay. Now, we have, in a real life, had we not prepped these in advance, we would have put these in the colander, we would have put ice on them, we would have cooled them down right away. Now, Ben has also chopped these up really finely. Normally, you might even use them whole to dip, and you might dip into this remoulade sauce. That would be great. Or if you're making sandwiches. But if you are making this, which we're doing, which is we're going to put into the romaine boats, it needs to be pretty fine. You can see that that's going to be just the right size for people to eat, as it's kind of a bite-sized thing. And so when we put it into the water, it was unpeeled. We did not peel the shrimp in advance, and so it cooked, as I say, turning just barely opaque pink, and then was drained immediately and iced over. So then you peel them, and it's nice to peel them if you sort of have a little running water and some ice, because it makes it less of a creepy job. Okay, we're now making the curried chicken salad with toasted almonds. Okay, Ben, pour the chicken in. Now, you can use, we just figured that you can use rotisserie chicken, or you can do what Ben did, which is you can boil, you did 6 chicken breasts, didn't you? It calls for 4 cups of diced cooked chicken, but Ben used 6 chicken breasts. You know I never use chicken breasts, so I would probably use a bunch of chicken thighs, but you can see it's going to be beautiful. Okay, Ben, now we put in, calls for 1 rib of celery, but I see that we have a lot more than 1 rib of celery. We have tons of celery. How much do you think we have? About, looks like 3 or 4 cups. Tons.
Yeah,
just pour it in. Just dump it in. So tell how much you think that is. You think that's a cup?
I think that's definitely a cup.
Okay. The almonds, so I put on the top of the stove. I put them at a high heat, and then I didn't leave them alone. I kept on whipping them around, sort of turning them around in a hot pan, no oil in it. And finally, after about 3 or 4 minutes, they were browned enough. So, Ben, go ahead and put in the almonds that have been toasted. That's it. Dump them in there. Okay. Next, we're going to put in 2 tablespoons of pre-measured lemon juice from a fresh lemon. 2/3 cup golden raisin. It calls for 1/2 to 3/4 cup mayonnaise, so we're going to put in a cup of mayonnaise. And finally, best part is the curry powder. Now, this calls for we're putting in 2 teaspoons of curry powder, but then we're going to taste it again. Finally, we put in the spring onions, which we actually should have put in a little bit earlier, but that's just fine. I got so carried away about all of the celery. Okay, we have everything in. Let's mix it up, and then we'll put in a little bit of salt and pepper to taste. And so this one came from something called the Spruce Eats.
Yep.
Okay.
Now this looks to me like we're going to need to add some mayonnaise.
And some more lemon juice, I think.
Because it's
getting dry.
Dry and thick. So.
I think it is too. So let's add a measurable amount. So let's say that we put in another 1/2 cup of mayonnaise, I think. Okay. Okay, we're going to put in another, the juice of another lemon. Yep. And I'll have to make sure I put this in the recipe online. And then we're going to put in another 1/2 cup of mayonnaise. Make sure that it's all moist enough. Never hurts to have mayonnaise. And you brought Duke's mayonnaise, which I love almost as much as my own homemade, because it does taste homemade. Although, if you can't get Duke's, use Hellmann's. And if you can't get Hellmann's, don't make whatever you're making with mayonnaise, because it'll be disgusting. Okay, that's okay. That's okay. It's on the floor. Virgil will definitely eat it. No matter. All right. And now, We're going to put this in the refrigerator. Oh no, we need to put a little salt and pepper to taste. Okay, so sprinkle a little salt.
Let's evaluate its moisture and thickness.
Okay.
Everything getting close.
Think it needs a little bit more mayonnaise?
I do.
Okay, let's put another 1/4 cup of mayonnaise in. Oh yes, everybody who's going to be at this party is our age. I do hope we don't all die, just drop from a mass heart attack.
Like I said, this is not a dish you take to your Jenny Craig meeting.
It's not popular with Weight Watchers. Okay, stir up. Okay, now let's put in a little bit of salt. Now this time we're going to use regular salt. We're not going to use kosher salt. Mainly because it's not quite as salty and we have a recipe for it. Okay, throw it in. Sure. Was it a little bit handful? Probably was that, I think that was a teaspoonful? Okay, teaspoonful. Yeah, because this is a lot of stuff. It'll be absorbed. All right, now let's try put a little pepper. You know how I love my pepper grinder. It's perfect in a hurricane. Watch the light. Wait, let me turn the light off for the high drama. Hold on just a second. So exciting. Okay, now do it. Woo! I love it when the light goes on. Okay. And that's probably about half a teaspoon, something, yeah.
That was a warm-up taste. You think it needs a little more curry?
I think it needs more curry. I don't think it needs more raisins. Okay, we're putting in another 2 teaspoons of curry. We both think that it just needs a little bit more. And we're also going to put in the rest of our golden raisins, which means we're putting in about 3/4 of a cup. But I think you could use a whole another cup. I mean, including what we've just done. Okay, so stir it around. There we go. And now we're going to both test it again in a second. Okay, here come a couple of these we're trying out, and these are little phyllo cups that we're going to put the almond chicken in. Okay, so it's just to go in the oven at 350, and they're in there for 3 to 5 minutes, and we've only made 2, but actually there are a bunch in a package, and so we're going to make a bunch tomorrow night. Okay.
Everybody that watches me when I'm cooking knows that I have a secret ingredient or a secret technique. The secret ingredient for this particular recipe combination is right here in this bag. And if you will watch Harriet's episode, she'll tell you what's in the secret ingredient.
We're telling them right now.
It's love. Because when you're cooking for people, you want to put some love into every batch of anything you make, because that makes it special. So we got some ground love here.
What is it?
And we'll sprinkle about 4.
Ben, what is it?
Due to the national security implications of releasing Chef Bubba's crystallized love into the wild, the contents of his secret ingredient must remain a carefully guarded secret. If you wish to know the secret ingredient, please leave a comment below, and make sure to like this video and subscribe to Harriet's Florida Kitchen while you're doing so.
Let us have a little taste. You take a taste of this one too. First of all, before we do the chicken, let's taste the shrimp. And we got too salty. Too salty.
It's still too salty. Yeah, we got to alter it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
But that's the potato.
We have a trick, and that is we're going to put in a potato to absorb the saltiness. I thought it seemed like a lot. Ben and I both thought it seemed like a lot, 1/4 of a cup of salt. That's sort of weird. So, but you hate to waste all that shrimp. So tomorrow, we're going to do the potato overnight, and then tomorrow we will try it again, and if it's still too salty, we'll pile in a bunch of mayonnaise and lemon and celery, and we'll just nurse it till it's okay. So now, what we're going to do though, as if it were perfect, we're going to show you how to do these little things. So hold on 2 secs while we do this. So Ben, we put the shrimp in these into the romaine boat. So cut up that one. This one's too big. So if you're doing this at home, you obviously won't want to use just the teeny bits of your romaine, because you may be doing it for 30 people as we are. So you cut it up into halves or thirds, whichever you prefer, and then you put some of it. So you like to put in, what are you doing, Ben? Tell what you're doing.
So this is some finely chopped arugula, and I like to sprinkle a little bit in the bottom of the boat.
All right. How much do you like to usually put in?
Well, you're going to pick it up and eat it, so you want to be able to kind of fold it in half. So
I'm going to
not
use
too much.
Not a ton.
Nope.
Not this much.
Nope. Then for color, I like to add just a few nice pieces of
Pepper?
sweet pepper.
Okay.
Like this.
Oh, Ben, they're so pretty.
Yeah, it gives it a little excitement, like that.
Okay. Okay, Ben. Now, we have our little phyllo cups that we've just taken out of the oven, and they were in for 5 minutes. Okay, go ahead and put the I've got a melon ball scooper, and that's about the right size. So those are going to go in our little. Be careful you don't break them. And they sound like they're crunching. They are. Okay. Put one of those on. Okay. And now. Okay, those look wonderful. Hold on, all right. Okay, now we're ready to sample. Now, Ben added to our little chicken things a little bit of, just a little garni of apricot, which looks fabulous. Okay, now we'll try it. Ben.
You got to put the whole thing in your mouth.
Okay.
There you go.
So good. That's fabulous. That is great. Now, this is an unbelievable salad. You can make it, you could put it on a sandwich. You could have it on a little bowl with a little lettuce under it. That's for your diet dish. You can make it into puff pastry, put a little puff pastry vol au vent.
Yeah.
But I think this, with the phyllo cup, is unbelievable. Okay, now we're going to try the shrimp, which looks unbelievable, Ben. Okay, put this down.
This one you can't put the whole thing in your mouth.
No, I'm not going to put the whole thing in.
Boy, that's got some flavor, doesn't it?
Oh, and a couple of liars. We didn't entirely like it. The chicken was wonderful. It was the best. But you know what was going on with the shrimp? It was the minute we put it in our mouths, your giveaway, of course, is Ben saying, oh, it does have some flavor. Not exactly what you really want to hear. So what we did was, how did we fix the situation? Well, we put potatoes in it. We did everything to sort of, suck out the salt, as you sometimes can do. We added more mayonnaise. We put in more shrimp. Nothing would get rid of all that salt. So we took all of the shrimp and we rinsed it off. We rinsed off all of that sauce. And then I made our recipe all over again and put it all together. And by the next day, it was improved. And I must say, a few people at the party said, this is just right. I never really feel like I have anything that has enough salt in it these days. This is great. You're going to probably have a heart attack by the end of this party. Anyway, the recipe now points out how you should do it. And now this really is Harriet's Florida Kitchen saying thanks so much for watching the show that screws up so you don't have to. Bye.